We can afford to do this this is a big country. The idea we can accommodate more people in the interest of the United States. And by the way, guess what? They're the reason why.
Ms. Marcos, can I just start with you? You testified a moment ago to Senator Butler that every child gets a Know Your Rights presentation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that before or after you release them to labor traffickers?
Senator, every child that comes into our care gets a Know Your Rights presentation, as well as...
Have you read these New York Times reports, these stories, the series of stories the New York Times has done on the children who are in your care? Have you read them?
Yes, I have.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes, they are operating heavy machinery, they are delivering meals, they are harvesting coffee, they are working construction, they are working as housekeepers, they are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid, they are not going to school, they are not cared for, they are not getting meals, almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Now, as you just heard, that was Robin Marcos, who was the Secretary of Refugee Resettlement, which means that she was the Office of Refugee Resettlement, which means that she handled the illegal immigrants. All illegal immigrant children specifically passed through her office. And you just heard her say, not only is she aware of the reports that children are being forced to work, not go to school, and take advantage of whatever liberties or benefits that had been given to illegal immigrant children, but they're not doing anything about it. And now the dam has broken, and a recent story just came out about Tyson Foods, of all companies. So in this video, I'm going to briefly share what this article talks about. Then I'm going to show you the video clips that explain and give more proof as to what's going on with these illegal immigrant children. And do you remember a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when it was really, really getting bad? And everybody was saying, hey, man, why are the Democrats doing this? Why are they flooding the country with tens of millions of illegals? And then they love to jump on TV and say, oh, it's only 3 million or 5 million. Then they downplay the number. I heard one Democrat shield saying 5 million, and Laura Ingraham from Fox News was not going to let him off the hook with that. She said, whoa, 5 million. Let's be real, Congressman. 5 million might have been 6 months that it took that long to get to that number. We're talking about more between 15 and 20 million. He tried to say, well, you know, there's no documented proof of that. Of course, because they came in illegally. And all they wanted to do, they realized that voters are waking up, especially the black and the Hispanic voters. Now, a lot of folks believe like all black people are just loyal to the Democrat Party. They're not. And they believe all Hispanics are loyal to the Democrats. We're not. There is a large block of the black community that for whatever reason has been programmed to just vote Democrat. Well, I'm not going to say for whatever reason, because they've lied. They took on the mantle that they fight for civil rights, all behind Lyndon Johnson's 1964 Civil Rights Bill. Him being a Democrat president, he got the legislation passed, and they control the media. So the Democrat Party sees the win as if they did it as a collective. They didn't. Lyndon Johnson at that time was having a change of heart because he was a staunch racist. Everyone knew that. But when he became the president, he was getting older, he had a change of heart in a major way. And he wanted to do more. He wanted to cement his legacy. When he put up that civil rights bill, most Democrats and most black people don't know. The Democrats pulled the longest filibuster in the history of the American government. That's right. In 1964, the Democrats refused to vote for civil rights. Look it up. The information is out there. It was Republican senators who helped push this legislation over across the finish line and made it to where all races could vote. But again, Lyndon Johnson being a Democrat president, the Democrats control the media. Him being a Democrat president, that party just assumed that title of we fight for civil rights. But the Democrats are the party of slavery, the Dixiecrats. They're the party of Jim Crow. They're the party of the Ku Klux Klan. Most people don't even know that Robert Byrd, the West Virginia senator, was the exalted cyclops of the KKK. And Joe Biden spoke and gave the eulogy at his funeral in 2013 or 2015. So when people like to say, oh, the Republican Party today was the Democrat Party of back in the day, that is a lie. Because a lot of those same Democrat politicians that were in back then are still around now. Joe Biden being one of them, who co-wrote the 94 crime bill, okay, who didn't want his children to be in a segregated jungle. His words, not mine. And so now let's fast forward it to the illegal immigrants. Now they could build in a new slave class and get loyal voters saying, hey, you know, if you don't vote for us, they want you out. Rather than, hey, you should come here the right way and learn about our political system and you make the choice. They're bribing them. Same way they bribe black people. Hey, you want this welfare? You want this handout? Keep voting for us because, you know, Republicans don't want you to have anything. When it's the total opposite. The Republicans have been like, hey, you're somebody. You got ability. You can do this. You can take advantage of this dream. Stop waiting on somebody to hand you something and go take it. Because 9 times out of 10, whatever somebody's willing to give you is nowhere near what you need to progress. But let me get off of that and get into this. I'm talking a little bit too much already. So, whistleblower claims Tyson Foods employs child workers. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley is calling upon the Department of Labor, to investigate Tyson Foods after a whistleblower accused the company of illegal child labor practices. This week, Senator Hawley sent a letter to Department of Labor Secretary Lori Chavez de Reamer, urging her to investigate Tyson Foods in light of these allegations. Now, real quick, let me show you what's going on at Tyson Foods, and I'll get back to the article. Check this video out.
The U.S. Department of Labor opens an investigation into claims of child labor at a slaughterhouse owned by Tyson and Purdue Chicken. This comes after an article written in the New York Times states migrant children were found working in plants along Virginia's eastern shore. The article also claims children as young as 13 were using acid and pressure hoses to clean blood, grease, and feathers from industrial machines.
If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid, hit that like button, because I'll never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hitting that like, it really helps. It's helped spread the channel out. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. So once you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell and then select all. That way you'll be notified when I upload new videos. So we've got these children in here working, handling equipment and whatnot. 9 times out of 10, they're not being paid. But let me read a little bit more of this, then I'll get into the next clip, which really breaks it down, the news report. As chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee Subcommittee on Crime, I have been contacted by a whistleblower who alleges that Tyson Foods used child workers at one of its processing plants in likely violation of federal child labor law. Senator Hawley wrote in a letter, I have opened an investigation in my subcommittee. Given your role in enforcing federal labor law, I urge you to fully investigate these troubling allegations immediately. Hawley says in the letter that the whistleblower, a former Tyson Foods employee, alleges that they personally witnessed underage workers and also received multiple reports from hourly Tyson employees about child workers in the plant. According to the allegations, these child workers were employed by a third-party entity contracted by Tyson for work in the plant. The whistleblower claims that Tyson retaliated against them after reporting concerns to company superiors about child workers employed at the plant. So now let's get into this. This right here is Joe Biden's thoughts on how he feels about illegal immigration and how we got into this. Check this out.
We can afford to do this this is a big country. The idea we can accommodate more people in the interest of the United States. And by the way, guess what? They're the reason why, the legal as well as undocumented, they're the reason why our society is functioning, the reason why our economy is growing. We don't talk about that. We stand up and act like it's a burden. It is not a burden. It's a gift.
Now, you just heard what Joe Biden said, and we wonder why or how we got into this situation that we're in right now. And as unfortunate as it is, we're here now. So now let's take a look into the report of the probe of Senator Hawley and exactly what's going on with Tyson Foods. So there you have it. Now you understand how we got into this situation. You heard it directly from President Biden's own mouth. So now we got these Democrats having small illegal migrant children working in factories, doing dangerous work too, running the risk of hurting themselves. And then what about the food that they're handling? What about the quality? If they're willing to violate law to save a few bucks, imagine what else they're willing to cut corners on when it comes to what we put into our bodies. This is why most folks don't know. Our food is literally banned in almost every country around the world. And you know it's bad when a third world country refuses food being given by a supposed first world country. They refuse our food. Why? Because all of the crap we put in it, all of the GMOs, the hormones, all the other stuff that's put in our stuff. As a matter of fact, if you aren't paying attention when you go out to buy your food, read the ingredients. Look and see how many times you see contains bioengineered food product on it. What does that mean? What is a bioengineered food ingredient? And what's the need? It's like Fruit Loops. They sell Fruit Loops here in America that got all types of crap and dyes in it. Do you know they sell that same cereal to European countries that have natural fruits, natural fruit colors, not the BS that they give us? Theirs might have 10 ingredients. Ours will have like 50. And Tyson Foods now is being exposed as being one of the people taking advantage of illegal immigrant labor, paying next to nothing, doing jobs that could be given to American citizens looking for work. But hey, that's what's going on, man. And so we got to be aware. We got to stay vigilant to what these left-wing extremists, Democrats are doing. Don't let them play on your heartstrings about, oh, you know, immigrants need to just be here. Come here the right way. I want to see everybody win just like anyone else, but not when it's going to put somebody out that lives here, that's committed to this country, that's from here. No, I'm not with that. I'm loyal to the soil. For those that are here rocking with us, I'm a Black American. I'm not an African American. I'm a Black American. And so I rep the red, white, and blue, period. What about you? And the fact you're watching this, though, it already tells me so. If you watch this video and you hung in there with me, I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about these companies using this child labor and what Joe Biden said about it being a gift. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel and you be safe. You stay great. I'm Brian Maxwell, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.